Welcome, Arton. Welcome. That you should be the one to face good King Mogomog XII is of great comfort, to me and to the elementals both. As I am sure you know, the Mughals are not by their nature a warlike race, yet should the king be suffered to remain, it is like that his influence will bring about a change in them. Thus does it behoove us to defeat him quickly before any lasting damage is done. Make whatever preparations you deem necessary, and inform me when you are ready to seek the king. The wards barring access to the king's sanctuary can only be nullified through the use of enchanted keystones, the selfsame method employed 5 years ago when first the king was summoned to Eorzea. It was with great regret that we were forced to sanction the slaying of the guardians who then held the keystones, for none were in our possession at the time. But by the grace of the elementals, however, we have been spared that burden on this occasion. Kublai-Kop confided in me that he had been entrusted with a set of keystones by the Mogulsguard themselves, yet wishing not to betray their confidence, he begged me to find some other means to gain entry to the king's sanctum. Alas, I have been unable to do so, and dare not labor any longer, for fear that the Mughals might succumb to the corrupting influence of their liege lord. We must needs have Kublai-Kop's keystones, Arton. Pray, go to him and beg his assistance. He awaits you at West Shore Pier. Impress upon him our great need, and I am certain he will yield. So, how will you do it, Kupo? Oh, he told you about that. Well, if there's truly no other way, I'll do it, Kupo. Take the ferry to Sweet Bloom Pier. I'll go on ahead. Don't you dare lie to me, Kupo. I know what you're planning, and I won't allow it. Open your eyes, Kupo. The king will never be satisfied, no matter how many crystals you bring him. We offered you a choice, and this is how you repay us? By consorting with this Viera? Imperials, Gridanians, Sylphs, you're no different from the rest of them. Actually, you're worse, Kupo. Traitor to his kin's Mughals, he plots treason against the crown. Enough. Kublai-Kop will answer for his crimes soon enough, as will all who defy the will of good King Mogomog XII. May he reign forevermore, Kupo. The king is planning to purge the Twelveswood of his enemies, Kupo. We've got to stop him before it's too late. The entrance to Thornmarch is deep within the bramble patch, Kupo. If you take me there, I can nullify the ward. But be warned, the Mogulsguard has set traps to lure enchanted beasts. I can't hide from them, so you'll need to protect me, Kupo. we're here, Kupo. I don't see any more beasts. Do you? Are you ready to face the king, Kupo? Then step closer to the ward. Raise your hand and focus, like when you attune to an aetherite, Kupo. I'll open the way for you. The rest is up to you, Kupo. Now go and teach those foolish Moogles a lesson and send the king back whence he came. You did it, Kupo! You did it! Good King Mogomog XII, may his mighty soul rest in peace, is no more! I shudder to think what might have happened had you not stopped the Moggles Guard when you did. Thank you, Arton. Perhaps now they'll come to their senses and stop playing at fairy tales. Rest assured that the chieftain will have choice words for them, too. You should go and tell Puknupak that the king is no more, Kupo. She's with Raya O at Camp Tranquil and can relay the news to the chieftain. Do I dare believe my ears? Good King Magomag XII, may his magnificent virtue serve as an example to us all, has fallen? All Mughal-kind owes you a debt, Kupo. Oh, and I sense Raya-O wishes to congratulate you as well. I shall let you two speak without fear of interruption. Your bravery in service to the Twelveswood and her Mughals shall not be forgotten, Arten. My sister will doubtless wish to hear the tale of this great victory from the mouth of the man responsible. Pray, return to the Lotus Stand and treat her to a full account of the day's events, while the details are yet fresh in your mind. The Elder Seedseer is expecting you, sir. May I show you in? Arten, you are returned to us, unharmed and victorious. Thus have I 2 reasons to be glad. Yet many questions remain unanswered. If you would be so kind as to oblige me, I would fain hear all that occurred in Thornmarch. Then it is as we feared. The king really is a primal. But he really isn't, is he? I mean, the Mughals don't worship him for one thing. He's not even a god to them. That doesn't sound like any primal I've ever heard of. Then mayhap the fault lies with the definition. The fact remains that through a combination of the power contained in crystals and the force of their collective faith, the Mughals called forth a being that by rights should not exist. Moreover, when slain, said being left no corpse, the ether of which comprised him instead became scattered to the 4 winds. According to the accepted definition, he may not be a primal, but the mode of his manifestation was in every respect the same. Which means... Ascians. This whole business reeks of their handiwork. Kupo, they said it was a masked man who had taught them how years ago, but Gridania has no shortage of masked men, and I never thought to question... Confound it all, how many more will they ensnare with their tainted gifts? Too many, I fear. So long as there are paragrons to stir the embers, fools to build the pyre, and crystals to feed the flames, ever and again shall we suffer primal visitation. A somber thought, but a salutary one. My heartfelt thanks, Arten. Already the information you have provided has proven invaluable. The Grand Serpent Marshal and I have much to discuss. Oh, before you do, my lady, I was hoping we might finish discussing that other matter. The matter of which you speak has even now been settled. The Scions shall not want for support. We shall be glad to send additional supplies to Revenant's Toll. knew we could count on you, my lady. While Ida and I remain to discuss the particulars of our arrangement with the Elder Seedseer, mayhap you could return to the Waking Sands and apprise the antecedent of all that has transpired. Please extend my personal thanks to the antecedent, along with my best wishes for the Scion's forthcoming move. You don't have to worry about the Moggles Guard anymore, Kupo. The chieftain made them apologize in front of absolutely everyone, and just to be sure, we're keeping a close eye on them too. This business has taught us much, and the antecedent must needs be informed of our findings. Pray, leave matters here to us, and return to the Waking Sands. Thanks to the Elder Seedseer's generous donation, the Rising Stones may actually be worth leaving the Waking Sands for. If the flawless crystals you procured for us are to retain their elemental purity during the shaping process, a very specific set of abrasive substances will be required. Well, I say substances, but one might as well just call them one substance, namely aether sand, which has 4 elementally aspected varieties. Alas, aether sand is neither common nor cheap. Indeed, it is not unusual for the abrasive to exceed the value of the precious stones it is used to polish. Given the rarity of the materials in question, the Goldsmiths Guild in Ul'dah seemed the likeliest place to purchase the quantity we require. When I contacted the Guildmaster, however, I was informed that no aether sand was currently available. Though I requested that word be sent as soon as new stock came in, I have yet to receive aught but apologies. I should mention at this point that I placed the order some time before you procured the flawless crystals. I am well aware that acquiring aether sand is no small feat, of course, and I am not an impatient man, but I fear the more we delay our investigation, the greater the risk that the tower's secrets may fall into the hands of other, less savory parties. That is why I wish to entrust you with the payment for our purchase, and send you to speak directly with Guildmaster Serendipity. Mayhap the presence of such a distinguished personage will spur the guild into action. In any event, it is my hope that when next we meet, you will have found at least one of the 4 varieties of aether sand we require. Ah, Master Istrov, welcome, welcome. What brings you here, if I may ask? You're here on behalf of the Sons of St. Coinch? What fortunate timing! I was just about to contact Master Rambrose with the news that we finally managed to acquire a quantity of the fire-aspected aether sand. I'm afraid it may be some time before we can supply the other 3 varieties, but you are welcome to settle accounts for that which we have now. Pray, speak with Jamima over the... Ah, I do beg your pardons. It seems she's assisting another customer. Come on, there must be something you can do. Without that sand, we'll have to rethink our whole design. I sympathize with your plight, sir, but as I explained, the aether sand in question is already spoken for. If you'd like to reserve the next shipment, then I would be happy to accept the funds you've offered as partial payment. Partial? Are you saying it's not enough? I'm already stretching our research budget as it is. I suppose a man can do without a midday meal for a year or 2. Arden, it's been too long. What brings you here, then? Got your eye on something expensive, have you? Well now, that is quite a money pouch. The sound of so many gil clinking together is strangely satisfying, is it not? Calming and yet invigorating at the same time. Oh no. You're here for the blooming aether sand, aren't you? Well, I can't deny the Alagon civilization's a subject worth researching. The chief said he was looking into something big, but we never thought to ask him what. Wedge and I have been too busy tinkering with a new airship design to think of much else. See, well, I say tinkering, wrestling would be more like it. Still, after much wringing of hands and gnashing of teeth, we've managed to put together a prototype crystal-powered propulsion system. We got the idea for it when we heard how you lot had used a corrupted crystal on board the Enterprise, as a matter of fact. Anyway, to cut a long story short, our design calls for all 4 varieties of aether sand. And that's why I can't just relinquish my claim on this batch here, even for you, lad. How are we meant to usher in a brave new age of technological innovation, if not by technologically innovating, eh? While I hesitate to interrupt such an impassioned speech, duty compels me to point out that this gentleman is a representative of the organization that reserved the aether sand in question, to mention nothing of the fact that his purse is considerably larger than yours. Oh, it's like that, is it? Alright, this batch is yours, I'll let you have it. But if you're going to take my sand, it's only fair that you grant me a role in this project of yours. I'll take that as a yes. It's not every day you get a chance to experiment with the wonders of the ancients. With any luck, they'll inspire me to think up another technological innovation or two. Now then, from what you've told me, I'm guessing you'll be needing the other 3 varieties of elementally aspected aether sand as well, right? Then rather than sitting on your rump waiting for a shipment that may never come, I reckon your time would be better spent looking for the stuff yourself, and it just so happens that I know of a good place to start. There is said to be a peddler in northern Thanalan who, very occasionally, handles the earth-aspected variety of aether sand. Wedge is in the process of confirming the rumor as we speak. I know what you're thinking. When did my timid little friend decide he didn't need me to hold his hand anymore? The answer being, just the other day. Seems he's been inspired by a certain adventurer's heroic example. I thought he was joking when he volunteered to go to Thanalan without me. I just hope he manages to stay out of trouble. Head out to Blue Fog, and you should find him poking about with his new bodyguard. Oh, did I not mention her? Wedge thought it might be wise to hire an adventurer to accompany him, just in case your heroic example turned out to be less inspiring than he first thought. Save your greetings. If you're looking for a hired blade, then you'll have to look elsewhere. After the day I've had, the only company I crave is the squat, silent type. The type that has a handle and holds no less than a pint of ale. You wish to hear my tale? I warn you, 'tis no stirring epic, but as you asked, my employer, a Lullafellan lad, wished to pay a visit to a peddler who deals in some manner of special sand. I forget what it was called, but 'tis apparently worth a small fortune. Anyway, when we arrived, the man claimed his stock had been stolen by bandits. Determined not to return empty-handed, we crept into the bandit stronghold and set about locating the stolen goods. Long story short, alarms were raised, rogues were awoken, and we fled in a blind panic. I was separated from my employer in the confusion, and I've not seen him since. Oh, a friend of yours, is he? Then you'd best be prepared for the worst. 'Tis just possible the poor sod may yet be lost in the old Amagina mithril mine, but I fear the bandits will have caught up with him by now. could I be so stupid? Sneaking into a bandit's lair, it's just not the sort of thing I do, and now I'm going to die for it. No. I just need to calm down. I can do this. I can be brave. I'm going to stand up, and I'm going to walk out of here. Here we go. I'm sorry. Please don't kill me. I promise I'll leave and never come back. Arton? Is it really you? But how did you find me? Can you smell fear? Actually, ignore that smell. I expect you're wondering why I'm here. Well, I was just in the process of retrieving some stolen aether sand, which Biggs and I need for our research, as it happens. It was, I concede, perhaps a touch foolish and very nearly fatal, but I did succeed in snatching the stuff before my bodyguard ran away and several dozen bandits came piling after me with knives and axes and what looked very much like a plank with a rusty nail in it. Anyway, the important thing is that the stolen aether sand is right here in my oh dear. It must have fallen out when I was, taking evasive maneuvers. It seems I won't be leaving this infernal place for a while yet. You'll find the aether sand in my stead? Oh, thank the gods! You're a true friend, Arton. I hope the search doesn't prove too troublesome. The bandits don't seem to care much for visitors. Arton, have you had any luck locating the aether sand? Yes, that's it! I must return to the workshop at once and tell Biggs the wonderful news. What's that? You're also on a mission to collect aether sand? And you're working with the chief? A treasure trove of Allagan knowledge, you say? I see. Then you should really be the one to have this. Biggs and I are far from exhausting all possible avenues of airship innovation, but it sounds as if your problem can't be solved by any other means. This expedition of yours sounds jolly interesting, I must say. I'm half inclined to join you. In fact, I think I will. Any venture worth the chief's time must be worth a look. Right, I'm more than ready to leave this awful place behind, and you should return to Mordona with that aether sand before there are any more, little mishaps. Be sure to keep a close eye on your pockets, Arton. Ah, Arton, you've returned. I take from your presence that you were successful in procuring us some aether sand. Tell me, which variety did you find? I see. 2 varieties. Well, that is 2 more than could reasonably be expected, and 2 less than I had hoped you would say. Forgive my flippancy. You have done well, truly. If all goes to plan, we need no longer fear death by fire or earth. Master Garland, if you would be so kind as to prepare the relevant crystals. I shall set to work immediately. Truth be told, I've been looking forward to this. One does not encounter materials like these every day. Speaking of which, how in the seven hells did you find them? Mistake me not, old friend, I know only too well how capable you are, but aether sand isn't something you simply find gathering dust at the back of a merchant's rare gem cabinet. You had help from Biggs and Wedge? Trust them to design a revolutionary new engine the moment I turn my back. How's a genius meant to rest on his laurels when his employees are so damnably inventive, eh? And now they're determined to join us, are they? Typical. I jest, of course. It will be good to have them around. Still, as a matter of professional pride, let's endeavor to procure the 2 remaining varieties of aether sand before they arrive, shall we? Tell me, Rambrose, have we any information on where the water and wind-aspected types might be hiding? Not as of yet, but I have made certain arrangements. We shall soon see if my efforts have borne fruit. Forgive me for observing, but you seem less than enthusiastic about that prospect. If there's a complication, I'd rather we discuss it now than risk jeopardizing the expedition. Mayhap an explanation is in order, but first let us savor the preliminary victory that Arton has won for our cause, if only for a moment.